In this video, we will first provide an overview of the Panama Pensionado Visa. We will then discuss each of the requirements in turn, and then, finally, we will discuss the current Panama Pensionado Visa fees and cost. And we will discuss commonly asked questions about Panama Pensionado Visa. What you can and cannot do. Can you work in Panama with a Pensionado Visa? How to obtain a Panama Retirees Driver's License. As an international law firm specialized in relocation in Panama, we are very well pleased to discuss this. There is quite a lot to cover here. What is a Panama Pensionado Visa? Let's quickly clarify what we mean when we use the term Panama Pensionado Visa. The Panama Pensionado Visa is a unique program initiated by Panama's government to boost immigration. If you have a lifetime pension of at least $1,000 or the equivalent in your local currency, it is important to keep in your mind that Panama does not establish an age limit, but it is clear that minimum income of $1,000 must be from a public or private pension program. If you don't have one, you might be interested in reviewing another type of visa such as Friendly Nations or Digital Nomad Visa. Pensionado Visa Panama Benefit. The visa application must be made once you have arrived in the country. You will get the first status in 3 days. When applying for the Pensionado Visa, you will be temporary residents for 6 months, which is the time usually the immigration authorities takes to process your application and grant you permanent residence. That means that your residence is not conditioned by a period. It is indefinite. How much does it cost to get a Pensionado Visa in Panama? This is, without any doubt, one of the great points in favor of the Pensionado Visa in Panama. The government cost is minimal compared to another visa options that you might consider. You can consider having around $1,300, $1,500 to pay extra expenses such as apostille, notarize, legalization, and translation of any document required in the process. Disclaimer: we do not charge in advance until you have your first immigration ID in your hands. If you need a legal fees quotation, you are more than welcome to contact us through our website, www.ndm.com.pa. Panama Pensionado Visa Requirements. You must present a letter or official document that certifies the amount and permanent duration of your retirement. 3 photographs. Duly verified copy of the passport, notarized and corresponding authenticated. Retirees must provide a medical certificate demonstrating that they are in good health and free of transmissible disease. Retirees must provide a police clearance certificate from their home country or from any country where they have lived for more than 2 years in the past 5 years. If you are from Canada, you must present 2 printed and authenticated documents at the Embassy of Panama in Canada: the Police Clearance Certificate and Royal Canadian Mounted Police. If you are an American citizen, you must present the FBI background check, apostille, and authenticated at the Embassy of Panama in the U.S. Certification of your status as a retiree or pensioner by foreign government, international organizations, or private companies, showing that you receive a lifetime pension not less than $1,000 per month or its equivalent in foreign currencies. Additional economic solvency of $250 per month for each dependent, which can be justified with additional pension or local bank reference. Certificate of public registration of the property, if applicable. In case of a pension or retirement of a private undertaking, the following shall be provided in addition to the requirements laid down in this article: letter from a foreign pension management, trust, mutual funds, insurance, or banking company certifying that it administers funds from the company or applicant, certification of the existence and validity of the company which grants the pension and administers the funds, copy of proof of payment or bank statement. If you retire in Panama with your partner, you can't meet this. If you plan to retire with your partner and/or children, you should not lose sight of these documents to present them in your application. In the case of dependent children, their pension will be temporary until they turn 25 years old, as long as they prove that they complete their studies. However, they will not have the right to permanent or pensioner status. To immigrate with your partner, you must present your marriage certificate duly authenticated and apostilled by the Panamanian embassy in your country where you are and pay the fees requested by authorities. Retirees who meet these general requirements may be eligible to apply for the Retired Pensionado Visa program in Panama. The process timeline is the first step. The first step is to know the retirement of the Pensionado visa type, which we focused earlier in this video. Not only is this arguably the most important thing that you should focus on, but due to the great amount of volume of the immigration rules that apply to Panama Pensionado, we recommend you to follow the next steps. The second step is that obtaining certain documentation may take some time. For example, for some out-of-the-country applicants, arranging to get the apostille of your documents that can be time-consuming. Thirdly, satisfying the immigration rules may take longer than you would expect. For instance, the relevant financial period might require you to wait several months until you satisfy the immigration rules. If this video have a positive feedback, we'll make sure we'll continue creating more content like this for you. A particular document you should take a time to read is the Retired Pensioner Requirements. It is the official document offered by the National Immigration Service as a guide to official requirements and procedures. And our website, ndm.com.pa, has a lot of guide and uploaded information all focused on the different immigration ways that expats have in Panama. The second step is to find a suitable law firm like us to start completing the application forms. Once you spend the time familiarizing yourself with the relevant immigration rules, registration form. To complete the registration form, we need the following. 1. General copies of the passport. 1 copy of the stamp of entry. 2 photo-size carnet. 1 copy of the power of attorney and request the original passport. We complete the pre-registration online for you. Affidavit of criminal record. This form collects all applicant information for the National Immigration Service, and the information provided in this form is for official use. Form of legalization and authentication. When completing the registration, we must ensure that we have sent an application to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, page legalizing the following documents: police record, birth certificate if you have dependents, marriage certificate if you have dependents. Third step, submit the application. Once you have answered all of the questions in our first meeting to complete the application, from once you satisfy the relevant immigration rules and gather the requirement documentation, which largely depends on how you satisfy the requirements, we can go to the National Immigration Service and submit your application. Fourth step, your first provisional ID card for 6 months. After our lawyers have made the presentation at the National Immigration Service offices, you and our lawyers will go together to the immigration office on the same day of the notification to have your picture taken from the issuance of your first temporary residence for 6 months. Fifth step, your second permanent ID card. At this stage, you should expect the National Immigration Service to notify you that your resolution has been issued. This process usually takes no more than 6 months, and a payment of $50 must be made for the issuance of your ID. Frequently asked questions. There are always some doubts, and if this video is well received, we will develop other topics that interest you. But in the meantime, we will tell you whether or not you can work in Panama with the retired visa, and if you can obtain your license as a retiree in Panama. At this point, what you are able to do with this visa is obtain your retiree resident status and live legally in Panama as a retiree pensioner, volunteer work without pay, open bank account in Panama, obtain a Panamanian driver's license. Leave me in the comments if you are interested in me making a video on how to obtain the driver's license. Import a card free of taxes once every 2 years. Access to healthcare service and drug discounts. Import personal property without paying taxes. Get discounts on various services such as transportation, accommodation, entertainment, and more. Apply for a permanent residence in less than 6 months. What you cannot do is work for a Panamanian company or receive a salary in Panama. Vote in Panamanian elections. Obtain Panamanian citizenship automatically. Use the retiree visa to carry out commercial or business activities in Panama. Remain outside of Panama for more than 2 consecutive years without losing the retiree visa. You can obtain a driver's license only when you get your first ID. The visa application must be made once you have arrived in the country. The first status you will get when applying for the Panamanian Pensionado visa will be temporary residence for 6 months and then your permanent residence ID card. For any inquiries, please do not hesitate to communicate with us.